Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is The Black Link, and today is Thursday, January 9th, 2019. And you know what that means. It is finally time for the return of the Bungie weekly blog, This Week at Bungie, the first one of the new decade. They've been on break for a couple of weeks, but they're getting back into the swing of things with tonight's issue of the blog. Though there's not really too much big information to cover in this one, there are a couple of topics worth noting. In particular, Bungie addresses a few things about their anti-cheating and ban system. This is a big topic going on in the world of PC right now for Destiny 2. If you're a console player, or if you're a player on PC who happens to maybe not visit the Crucible all too often, you might not know, but there's some significant cheating issues that have been going on in Destiny 2's Crucible for kind of a while, basically since the game came out on Steam. There's been no end of videos about this posted to Twitter and elsewhere, and plenty of complaints all around. So I'm thankful that Bungie's finally making a statement about the actions they're going to be taking against those who cheat online. Now, before we go any further, usually when I make these videos, I like to kind of pepper in actual footage of the article itself so you guys can read it on your own. For whatever reason, as of the time of this recording, Bungie's website is offline for me. I cannot access it, so I couldn't get any footage of the website itself, so we're just putting on some Crucible gameplay for you guys to watch. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem. But alright, let's go ahead and dive on in. Here's what they have to say. The game security team has been improving Destiny's anti-cheat functionality, which detects players violating any of Bungie's restrictions and bans policies. The anti-cheat improvements will result in more players receiving restrictions and bans. Historically, Bungie has not given players the ability to appeal a restriction or a ban because all restrictions and bans are already reviewed by a trained Bungie employee. However, going forward, we will be providing a resource for players to appeal a restriction or ban. So if you're somebody out there who happens to get your account on PC banned, I'm assuming this is also for console as well, you now have a way to appeal that ban if you feel it was applied to you improperly. Which is certainly a nice change of pace, but I'm really happy to hear that they're focusing a bit more on their anti-cheat systems. Like I said, the moment this game moved over to Steam, it kind of got really bad. There was always a little bit of cheating on the PC platform when it came to Destiny 2, but it's certainly skyrocketed in the more recent seasons. Anyways, they continue on by saying this. If you encounter any players suspected of cheating, please be sure to use the in-game reporting tool, as well as the Report Suspected Cheating contact form on help.bungie.net. We'll have links to that all down in the description box below. Bungie will never issue a restriction or ban based purely on player reports, but player reports do help us corroborate other evidence. Frivolous appeals will not be considered. Additionally, not all appeals are guaranteed to be responded to by a Bungie employee. So basically, no, you can't abuse this system of reporting people either. So that guy who keeps shotgun ape rushing you down, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you're going to be able to get that account banned immediately. Anyways, as always, we'll be closely monitoring our security systems to ensure a healthy and fair experience for players who are not violating any of Bungie's restrictions and bans policies. And there we go, that's the official statement from Bungie. Now, like I said, this has really become a huge topic of conversation in the community, especially over the last month or two, with a lot of people on Twitter popping off about the cheating going on in the community. So me personally, I'm very happy that Bungie made some kind of statement about at least one aspect of the state of Crucible in particular right now. And while I'm happy to see them take a more hardline stance against cheating, I am also glad that they're adding an appeal form for people who may, that super small minority of players who might accidentally get caught up in this ban. It's great to give them a way out. But this also brought up another topic of conversation about the potential return of Trials of Osiris, or Trials as any sort of in-game PvP game mode. With the cheating going on right now, would that game mode even be fun to play? This is something we've even talked about on the podcast. And naturally, this conversation has led to quite a few different opinions being added in. One particular argument I saw was basically content gating something like Trials, if it were ever to return, behind premium purchase. So basically you have to own the latest DLC in order to play Trials of Osiris, or whatever the Trials game mode would be, unlike Iron Banner, which is available to basically anyone who owns the base game. That way, there's a bit of a price tag alongside trials, so people who are willing to cheat and then make alt accounts to cheat would have to continue to buy the game. I thought that was an interesting way to handle it. If I recall correctly, back in Destiny 1, I want to say that Trials was locked behind purchase of whatever was the current DLC anyway, whether it was the Taken King or Rise of Iron or anything like that. So I guess I wouldn't be too much against that if it were to ever come back. But again, at the very least, I'm really happy to see Bungie making a statement here. There are a lot of things that need to be fixed with the Crucible right now, but the cheating is definitely somewhere high up on the list. Now, if only we could get that matchmaking fixed. Oh, and by the way, no. Me taking advantage of the linear fusion rifle scavenger cheese thing right here. No, that does not count as the kind of cheating I'm talking about in this video. These are #legitimate tactics. None of that nonsense. But moving on to some more melancholy news, no doubt you've heard of the ongoing Australia brushfires. Well, thankfully Bungie and the Destiny community are never ones to shirk lending a helping hand. And as such, the Bungie Foundation is starting up a new effort to help fundraise to support the firefighters fighting those blazes. The TWAB states that we are developing a limited edition t-shirt fundraising campaign to support both Australia's firefighting efforts and the country's animal rescue and conservation efforts. The t-shirt, which comes with an exclusive Destiny 2 Starlight, Starbright emblem redemption code with purchase, will be available for pre-order on the Bungie store and the Bungie EU store between Thursday, January 16th and Tuesday, February 18th at 9 a.m. Pacific. Ending with the weekly reset and the start of the Crimson Days event. Now, because of the suddenness of this emergency and the rush to get this fundraising out, they don't exactly have the design done right now. They state that the team is currently hard at work on the t-shirt design and they'll be sharing a preview early next week. The first half of all profits generated by these t-shirt sales will be donated to WIRES, Australia's largest wildlife rescue organization. The other half will be donated to NSW Rural Fire Service, which services the state of New South Wales where the fires have been especially devastating and are in dire need of containment. So, if you're looking to help out with the effort, you can do that right there on Bungie's website. Of course, we'll have links to all of that down in the description box below. Now, I know that wasn't super huge game news, but I felt it was important enough to mention in this video. Finally, you may have noticed that a very specific Titan exotic has probably been unequipped from any of your characters that might have had it on. The WORMGOD Caress, the exotic Titan gauntlets, have been disabled. Earlier this week, an issue with the WORMGOD Caress was discovered that allowed the Burning Fist perk to retain increased melee damage after its intended timer cooldown, allowing players to easily defeat raid bosses. Now, if you haven't seen any of the videos of this, go look up a Devious Entity or like Glad on Twitter. They've got plenty of videos of them destroying everything in sight by stacking the buffs with the WORMGODs way longer than you're supposed to have them. It's kind of hilarious how much damage you could put out with these things, but they of course have been disabled now, including both the Armor 1.0 and 2.0 versions of these gauntlets, until a fix can be deployed at a later date. Rest in peace, that one did not last long. But alright, finally, Destiny 2 Hotfix 2.7.0.2 is going to be launching next Tuesday, January 14th. This hotfix will resolve a few known issues including the EDZ obelisk accessibility and Eververse waypoint notifications, so if those have been bugging you for a while now, they're getting fixed next week. Of course, next Tuesday is also when the Dawning event is going to be going away, so if you haven't gotten your Sparrow or any of your Triumphs done, bake those goodies while you still can. But alright Guardians, that is pretty much it for the biggest bits of news to drop in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. Like I said, not a lot of new stuff to talk about, but some important topics nonetheless. That's it, that's the news, those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. I'm out for now. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.